Boom. Hold on, Here we go like this, Boom. Let me get it. The light shining. Good night on the live, and we want to build up the live because we're talking about Alzheimer's tonight. Yeah, hopefully you could see good. Let me shoot on the live first. Let me want to start to go and show some herbs and yeah. Let me shoot on the live. Yeah, man. Build up the live. Don't forget, build the live up. Yeah, we're going live. Let me go on. You can see a little better. Yeah. Yes, Bev. Greetings, Taylor. AJ, my brother. I love you, brother. Don't forget, man. It's love, Push it. Yeah. All right. Yes. North Carolina. Angela's Major. In North Carolina. Give thanks. All right. Let me go. Sophia, good night, my love. Give thanks. I love you, my sister, all the time. Yes. Christia, Uria, good night. Now, the question I want to ask everybody tonight is, before we build up the live, because this is serious stuff about the brain. Alzheimer's disease. Now, do any one of you all who looking at this video, this presentation, know someone who have Alzheimer's in your family, or a relative, or a friend? Do anybody know someone who's suffering from Alzheimer's disease? Not dementia, Alzheimer's. Because Alzheimer's and dementia is two different things. So we're going to talk about dementia in a little while. I'm going to show you some herbs you can use to prevent Alzheimer's. And I'm going to show you what the simple things that we eat every day can cause us to get Alzheimer's long term. So it's not an old person disease. That's false information. Because my mother, who died at 97 years old, could have remembered things in 1945, 1950, and 1965. So Alzheimer's disease is not an old people disease, because Tom Warren, who got it, he wasn't even 60 yet, I believe, and he repaired it. Yeah, wonderful. All right, Julius, you know somebody who have it. So your mom have that dementia. Well, we're going to talk about dementia, and we're going to show you what you can do to fix dementia too, because it can be repaired. Now, lots of people who is suffering from dementia, or what you call memory troubles, once they pass the age of 50 and they start having that particular condition, we know for a fact from research, I'm going to use the word research loosely, that these people, women and men alike, is suffering from acid in the stomach. They're low in acid. So they have what we call hypochlorhydria, where the acid is not breaking down certain foods in the stomach. So then they start suffering from dementia, because all the nutrients is not going to the brain. So dementia in older people, is telling us in herbal medicine that they are suffering from lacking of acid in their stomach. And they don't absorb nutrients. And so the older people who is suffering from dementia have hypochlorhydria. So get them some betaine hydrochloride. Give them that if they're older, if they pass the age of 50, 60, and they have dementia. Make sure you give them that. And we're going to show you some herb that you can use to help them to gain the memory back. You follow me? I'm going to show all you, right? Let me talk about Alzheimer's. Let me talk about dementia first. Come here, son. We're going to dementia first. All right, so I want you all to listen and learn and pass on all the information to other people, because all of us who getting older could get Alzheimer's too from what we eat. And a lot of us who getting older can get dementia too from what we eat. So don't think because you're young now and you all could remember things, don't think that when you reach 30, 40 and 50, you won't have it. It's according to what you eat and what you put into your system. We're going to tell you what they are. Let's go, son. Wonderful. Yeah, come over here. Yeah, so dementia, don't forget, I said before, that dementia and Alzheimer's is two different things. Because Alzheimer's can also cause people to get dementia too, but dementia is totally different. Because with Alzheimer's, your cells are being lost, being gone. You know what I mean? In the hippocampus of the brain that deals with memory and cognition. That part of the brain. And I'm going to show you now how you can feed that part of the brain nutrients, and then you can now either prevent Alzheimer's from affecting the brain, or if you do have it, how you can reverse it. I'm going to show you how to reverse it. God is great, you know, everything from the earth. Yeah? And I'm going to show you now that when you have memory troubles, dementia, how you can go in and you can fix your dementia, because all of us have some form of bad memory. And somebody forget sometime too. You see weed? I don't care what you talk about weed. You see ganja? You can lose your goddamn memory long term. That's a lot, and that's a fact. I used to smoke, so I could tell you, I'm opposed to smoking weed. After multi years and the kind of high weed they have now, the kind of, what do you call the hybrid weed they have now, that sucker mess with your memory eventually. So a lot of weed smokers, including my brother, will put on a piece of, put on a pen on the table over here, walk to the kitchen, and say, "Hell, where did I put a pen?" You can't remember where you put a pen down because that ganja anyway. Take that. That's what it is. Because you see what's going on right there, you want to go to the computer. Because you see what's going on right there, it's eating up the brain. You understand? You see that brain? The ganja does eat up the brain too. So don't think that ganja is all good. It's good. The CBD is good, but you see that THC? The THC will lick out your brain eventually, lick out your brain cells, and that's why lots of people who smoke a lot of hybrid weed, they have all kind of troubles with even with the nerves, and they have trouble with what you call personality. That's a fact. All right, wonderful. Psychosis they call it. All right, son, come over here, man. All right, son, love you, man. Take care. All right, now. Before we go to Alzheimer's, we're going to talk about some herbs that I want you to use. And I have it in this formula here. See? I have it in brain support. My brain support have a lot of them. Yeah? It's on my site, patrickdellsHolisticHealing.com. It's almost sold out already too. Now, if you want to keep the brain healthy, there are a few herbs. I'm going to teach you how to use them. It's according to what's going on with the brain. Because remember that your brain is supposed to act as a registry. Remember we said that before, right? Where's your son? When you go in your country, in the Caribbean countries, in Grenada, in Jamaica, Trinidad, you want to find out about your mother's and father's past history, or you have to find out about land that was sold, or who is in possession of that land, you have to go to a registry. And then the registry goes back way back, years ago, and they can pick up your land papers from there. So your brain is like a registry, like a computer, where you store all your information. Everything is stored in here. Some of us have long-term memory, and some of us have short-term memory. So I, Patrick Dells, I can remember when I was 15 years old, and I left Grenada, and I ended up in St. Lucia. You know what I mean? What I did at 15 years old. I, Patrick Dells, can remember when I was 5 years old, standing on a stage, singing to my family members, and then I had a bowel movement. You know what I'm saying? So we have long-term memory, and we do have short-term memory. Yeah? But the memory, the brain is like a registry. And we have to keep on working the brain properly, and we have to prevent lots of heavy metals from getting into the brain, in the hippocampus of the brain, depleting the cells that helps with cognition and memory. So we're going to teach you what these culprits are. Simple things that you eat on a regular basis. They kill the brain cells. You understand? We're going to teach you what they are, so that you now can go and you can detoxify your brain. Because now I am preparing a program to help people to detoxify the brain and build back up the brain cells. I'll be there about April, May, because I'm taking my time. I'm going to put it out, and I'm going to put you on a program for 45 days. And we're going to be working on the brain, and we're going to work on the digestive system, because without digestive health, there is no brain health. Don't forget that. Come over here, son. Now, Facebook might remove this video. So I want you all to mark down everything. Because all these things I want to tell you all know is about studies and done by doctors. You know what I mean? In England, in the UK, in Germany, in Japan, in Canada, and some researchers was in America. So all these things I'm going to tell you all tonight about dementia is from studies. You understand? So if Facebook do not go and do the research, I'm going to put down all the doctor's name on the live when it's done, and they in Facebook fact checkers can go and check the facts and look and see what I am saying here is true, because you can reverse dementia. You can reverse Alzheimer's disease. You can reverse them, because conventional medicine do not know how to reverse them. So everything they tell you don't have a cure, because they were taught in medical school that there is no cure for nothing. Yeah? Now, well, first thing we're going to talk about is the relationship between aluminum, isolated aluminum, and Alzheimer's from the foods and some medication that they give people to eat to drink on a regular basis. There is a relationship, again, between isolated aluminum and Alzheimer's from foods and some medications. Mark it down before these people remove my video so you could have the information there. Lock it down, please, or share the live. Acne medication. Long period of time taking acne medications. Women and men, young guys and young women that have acne. And this acne medication is full of isolated aluminum. It is in your mouth too. Mercury, full of it. You understand? And acids, also like Dica, full of aluminum. Anti-diarrhea products that they give you when you have diarrhea also have isolated aluminum. Douching for women that you buy in the pharmacies also have isolated aluminum. When women go in the pharmacy and buy things to douche, to wash their vagina, all of them have isolated aluminum. Deodorants is full of it. Lipstick that women put on their lips every day is full of it. Eyeshadows is full of it. Nail polish is full of them. Skin cream is full of isolated aluminum. Toothpaste is full of isolated aluminum. And we use them on a regular basis. Every day we use them. Not knowing the dangers of these chemicals in the brain. Some hemorrhoid preparations that you can buy in the pharmacies is also full of isolated aluminum. We're going to go to the foods in a while. But there is a relationship between isolated aluminum and Alzheimer's disease, because the research that these doctors did with Alzheimer's patients who died, they found that they had lots of aluminum in the hippocampus of the brain. Yeah? Follow me now. So, and because the blood barrier is not functioning properly, so lots of people who eating what we call a chemical diet on a regular basis, and when they get older, they seem to come down with dementia, or they seem to come down with Alzheimer's disease. And acids, anti-diarrhea products, douching. When women take buy the douching in the pharmacy, they're full of aluminum. The deodorants full of them. Leave the deodorants alone that have aluminum, because they're going to affect your brain long term when you're getting older. That is when it catches up with you. You understand? Lipstick. All your women like to put the lipstick on your lips all the time. Look for the plant-based lipsticks. There are plant-based lipsticks out there. Eyeshadows, lots of lead, lots of aluminum, lots of mercury. Nail polish, lots of that too. And then the woman put the lipstick on her. Watch me now. Watch me. She put the lipstick on her lips. Watch her now. Or you know that, or you do that too. Or you all women know that. You lipstick, put lipstick, and you do so. And you put some more again, and you do so again. And you go swallowing them stuff inside your system. Yeah? Eventually, you're going to get Alzheimer's if you're prone to getting it too. Come here, son. Lipsticks, skin cream. toothpaste, some hemorrhoid preparations. When you have hemorrhoids, yeah, it also causes you to get what we call Alzheimer's long term. It destroys lots of the minerals in the brain, in the hippocampus of the brain. Yeah, all right. Let's go to processed foods. You will never believe that lots of processed foods that we eat every day on a regular basis is full of isolated aluminum. Cake mixers have sodium aluminum phosphate. Cake mixers, lots of people who make cakes and the cakes you buy in the stores, the cake mixers they use is full of sodium aluminum phosphate. Self-rising flour is full of aluminum, isolated aluminum, self-rising flour. Cheese also have aluminum phosphate. Why? Because it makes the cheese melt a little faster and to get the cheese softer. A lot of people don't know them things because lots of us do not do research. I'm a researcher and I look at doctors that do research who dealing with our chemicals, neurologists, doctors who deal with the brain. So cheese have aluminum phosphate, and the reason why they put the aluminum phosphate in your cheese is for the cheese to become soft and nice, and it make them melt faster when you put them in the fire because they have aluminum phosphate. Baking powder, full of it. And lots of people use baking powder to make bread. And bake cake. Full of them. Pickled fruits also. And vegetables. Pickled fruits and vegetables have lots of them, aluminum, but it's so smart. It comes out, if you look at what he says, alum, A-L-U-M, because they put it in your fruits and your pickled fruits and vegetables, but they're so smart they don't want you to read the word aluminum, so they put A-L-U-M, alum, but the same goddamn aluminum you put it in your system on a regular basis. Get you to have a dementia long term. So your mother and your father have it, and they come and tell you there's no cure. So your mom and your dad is all messed up. They knows nothing. They take a bus and they go on all over the place. They know where they at because he, the doctor, was not taught in medical school how to repair it. Yeah. So pickled fruits and vegetables also have these aluminum, and it appears as ALUM in your pickled fruits and in your vegetables. Aluminum hydroxide is in buffered aspirin that they give you when they give you a baby aspirin to take when you have high blood pressure. Aluminum hydroxide is in buffered aspirin. And that's when they give you this aspirin. When you're taking a regular baby aspirin, they give you the buffered aspirin, but the buffered aspirin do have aluminum hydroxide. So they're killing us slowly every damn day. They're killing us. And because we ain't no better, we don't detoxify the organs. We don't clean the system out. We don't have the blood-brain barrier functioning properly. And all these chemicals get into the brain and they stick in the hippocampus of the brain that deals with cognition and memory, and then you start having troubles with dementia long term, and you start having troubles with all these neurological problems. You see, aluminum cookware, like aluminum pots, aluminum pans, aluminum foil. Now, you notice, come over here, son. You notice, when you go to buy barbecue, especially in Grenada and the other Caribbean countries, they put your barbecue pork, or they put your barbecue fish, or they put your barbecue chicken in a foil paper. Am I correct or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong now. They put your hot barbecue sauce and your barbecue chicken in a foil paper. And once that barbecue pork or chicken sit on that foil paper, it leaves what we call a bitter or metal taste in your mouth. That's only one thing it does. The second thing it does, it starts putting holes in your foil, because now all the aluminum is making the foil look black, and put holes in the foil paper, because now your aluminum is leaking into your pork, it is leaking into your chicken, it is leaking into your barbecue fish, and you eat that on a regular basis, 4 and 5 days per week. And when you get to the age of 50 and 60, you're trying to realize why you have dementia, or why you suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Foil paper, terrible. So let them find a different way of serving you. If you like to eat your pork, barbecue pork, that's up to you. But try to make them find a different way of giving you your barbecue pork in foil paper. You understand? Because long term, it's going to catch up with you like mercury in your mouth. Because Tom Warren removed all his teeth in his mouth because he had Alzheimer's. You know what I mean? That didn't help him. You see? But he changed his diet. Tell you what he did. Come over here, son. Mercury, aluminum, and these are the culprits. These are the foods that have them. But we're going to teach you how you can use some foods that will help you to detoxify aluminum from your system. I'm going to teach you. Come over here now. Next one. Kidney patient who is on dialysis. Kidney patients who have kidney failure, or what you call end-stage kidney disease, and is on dialysis, who is receiving aluminum supplements to control their blood phosphate levels, should show changes in the brain barrier of the people who are taking dialysis and taking these supplements to control their blood phosphate levels. They showed changes in the brain barrier while displaying Alzheimer's symptoms. And we have lots of black brothers and sisters in the black community who is on dialysis. They have to do it 3 times per week. 3 days per week they got to be on dialysis. So once you have end-stage kidney disease and you are on dialysis and you receive them aluminum supplements to control your blood phosphate levels, eventually long-term studies now, Facebook studies now, showed changes in the patients who received those supplements while displaying Alzheimer's symptoms from these supplements that they give you as a kidney patient who is on dialysis to control your blood phosphate levels. And this is research. So before they remove the video, I want to put all the information there and research. And this research was in the UK and in Germany from doctors, not Patrick, doctors, scientists. But they don't put these things for us to know because they don't want us to know these things. They want to keep us dumb and deaf and blind so we would not understand. You see what I'm saying? But kidney patients on dialysis who receive aluminum supplements to control their blood phosphate levels show changes in the brain barrier while displaying Alzheimer's symptoms. And we know for a fact that lots of our black brothers and sisters and Puerto Ricans and Spanish people is on dialysis. The Hebrew Israelites. Because they're full of diabetes and full of hypertension, full of lupus. And all these conditions damage the kidney long term. You see what I'm saying? And put you on dialysis. So you have to prevent these conditions so you don't have to take all these supplements that have all these isolated aluminum in them. Because it's going to destroy your brain long term. Yeah? Let's look now at foods that we can use to detoxify isolated aluminum from the system. Lettuce is one of them. Woo! See, write this up. This guy right here. See him? He detoxifies aluminum. Why Patrick does? Because he has lots of calcium Yeah? And calcium prevent aluminum from sticking in the hippocampus of the brain. Yeah? And lettuce is full of it. Juice a lot of it. Yeah? Number one. Number two, asparagus. Asparagus is very significant in detoxifying aluminum from the brain. Lots of asparagus. Very significant, man. You know? And foods that have sulfur. Right? Wonderful. Magnesium from some nuts. Yeah? Malic acid from cherries and apples. Malic acid also help to detoxify or remove aluminum, isolated aluminum from the brain. Lots of cherry, because cherries have a lot of vitamin C. And apples and some other fruits because of the malic acid content of these fruits. But they don't teach you that because they don't want you all to know these things. You see, the food chain is killing us long term. You see what I'm saying? So instead of using our food as medicine, the food is now killing us long term because we're using the food that have lots of chemicals and we don't clean, we don't detoxify. And so long term, we get older, we get sick in the brain. Because you could be 100 years old and supposed to remember things when you were 50, when you were 15, when you were 30, if you have good registry in the brain. You know what I mean? If you have good nutrients in the brain, L-cysteine. Onions, sulfur, because sulfur is important. Cabbage have a lot of it too. But you see, onions, raw or lightly steamed, sulfur, chives, hot peppers, horseradish, pinto beans, lima beans. They're full of amino acids too, like L-cysteine. Pinto beans and lima beans full of L-cysteine, which is very significant in removing lots of heavy metal from the brain. So you have to eat the food that have these compounds in order for you to save your brain from getting messed up when you get older. Because all of us are going to get old eventually. You're going to get to be 50. So all the young people talking now, you all better listen. Because I'm telling you all, you only will have in the food chain they have today, you only will make it at 50 no more. Because the food chain is messed up. So all the young people now, take heed. Because the foods that you're eating now is not like the foods that was grown in 1960. It's a different kind of food now we have. We have all this chemical in the food. We have Roundup, we have Gramazone, we have Miracle Grow. They're all in the soil. And the soil is depleted from the nutrients. So if you don't have or absorb nutrients in your digestive system, you can never have good brain function. Because lots of people is eating dead foods, dead atoms every day. 3 meals per day, and the 3 meals per day is dead atom because you cook it out. So your brain suffers. So onions, chives, hot pepper, horseradish, pinto beans, lima beans, they all have compounds that will get into the hippocampus of the brain, like sulfur, onions, and chives, and will help to remove all these chemicals that is affecting the brain stem or the hippocampus of the brain that deals with cognition and memory. And that's the reason why you see me, shall I take them? I take a lot of magnesium every day because I don't get all from food. So I take 1,200 milligrams of magnesium per day. I make sure that I take my calcium from food base. It's easy in the stomach. That's what I do. Or crush them up or put them in a blender. I don't swallow them. I make sure that I take my B6 because B6 is significant for, and B12. B6 and B12 is significant for the absorption or metabolism of carbohydrates, of protein, and of fats. B6, do the research. B6 and zinc aspartate is important, and I take them every day. You see, zinc aspartate, zinc aspartate is very significant because it is found in the brain, hippocampus of the brain and the thymus gland, and it prevents you now from getting Alzheimer's, and that's research. They don't tell you that. Magnesium and calcium in the gel form. Do not buy calcium and magnesium in the tablet form. It's no good for you. And do not buy calcium, magnesium, and zinc together, because if there is zinc in here, calcium will eat them up. You won't get no zinc inside at all. So do not buy calcium, magnesium, and zinc, because the zinc going to be inert, because the calcium going to eat them up. And make sure that when you're taking zinc, take zinc with copper. You understand? And make sure you're taking the bees all together. Yeah? What again? Now we go to the nutrients now. Come over here, son. Stay right there. Supplements, mark them down. B12, L-cysteine, zinc aspartate, EDTA. This is the boss. EDTA. And we know that a lot of people who have, a lot of older people who had Alzheimer's ended up doing what we call intravenous chelation. And they reversed it in less than 2 years. So it can be reversed. Magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, B6, and the B100, because the B12 works on the neurotransmitters in the brain. And lots of people who have Alzheimer's and died, that the research proved that they had no B12 in the brain stem, in the brain at all. None of it. So all the aluminum and all the mercury and all the lead depleted these minerals and these vitamins from the brain, and these that cause you to have good neurotransmitters in the brain to function and give you memory, or cause your memory to stick together, or prevent memory loss or dementia. These were depleted in Alzheimer's patients. Alzheimer's patients had no L-cysteine. They had no zinc in the brain. They had no magnesium in the brain, and magnesium is found in the hippocampus of the brain too. Magnesium is found in the hippocampus of our brain. And where do we get magnesium from? From green leafy things. And if we don't eat them on a regular basis, and we keep on cooking the foods that don't have them, our brain suffers long term. That's just common sense. Yeah? Wonderful. So now I want you to mark them down, please, in case these people remove my videos. The video, okay? Mark them down for me, or share the video, share the live. But don't forget that kidney patients, and if you are a kidney patient, or if you know someone who's on dialysis, talk to them. Because kidney patients who is on dialysis, who receive aluminum supplements to control their blood phosphate levels, show changes in the brain while displaying Alzheimer's symptoms. So ask your doctor if he can do a hair analysis to find out if your mother or your father have all these heavy metals in the brain. If it come back positive, you have to do what we call a heavy metal detox of your mother and your father's brain, and you will help them to recover. I'm going to use the word recover loosely. Understand? So remember, there is a relationship between aluminum and Alzheimer's. We call it isolated aluminum. There is a relationship between aluminum and Alzheimer's from food and some medication that they give you to take, like antacids, acne medication, anti-diarrhea products, douching products, deodorants, lipstick, eyelashes, nail polish, skin cream, toothpaste, some hemorrhoid preparations, full of isolated aluminum. So you having this thing in your system, you have no good blood-brain barrier. And all of a sudden you get older now, and you start to forget, oh my goodness, I don't remember nothing, oh my goodness, because your brain lazy. Yeah? Don't forget now. Mark them down. You know, Facebook stay. Now let's look at dementia, and let's look at some form of Alzheimer's with herbs now. Come here, son. So I'm going to make a blend for you, and this blend also is in my brain support. I'm going to tell you what to do. So this herb is called Bacopa. And Bacopa is important for the brain because it enhances clarity of thought. It is good for mild to moderate depression, and it relieves anxiety, and it helps with memory, and it calms the nerves. So Gota Cola and Bacopa do almost the same thing. Bacopa is a little bit more effective because it have more compounds in this plant called Bacopa right here, and this one is called Gota Cola. So Gota Cola and Bacopa is significant for the brain because they enhance clarity of thought. Yeah? Make you focus. And they help with depression. And they relieve anxiety. Memory, they increase memory. while calming the nerves. So they are also good for the brain when you have dementia or which you're suffering from what we call Alzheimer's disease. Over here, sir. Next one. Schisandra berry. And the next one is called lemon balm. Schisandra berry helps to focus, calm, and relax the mind. Lemon balm acts in terms of what we call seasonal affected disorder when you have SADS. But lemon balm is also an antidepressant, and it's also a nervine. And because there are nerves in the brain, we want to protect the nerve cells. Because when you lose the nerve cells, it's hard to get them back. So all these are herbs that you can use to help with the brain. Schisandra berry also works on the adrenal glands. It's what we call an adaptogen. It helps you to adapt to the stressful environment that you're living in. Next one is called ginkgo, and that's the boss in all of them. Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba should be taken by all people who pass the age of 50. Right, Patrick? Because it helps with senility, loss of hearing. You say you don't have hearing and you lose your hearing? Make sure you get some ginkgo, because it helps with lots of people who lose their hearing. And you use some herbs like burdock root and red root and echinacea to work in the lymphatic system, and your hearing come back. God damn, and they come from the earth. Ginkgo also help with mental fatigue, and it slows the progression of Alzheimer's and prevent memory loss, and it's been around 5,000 years now. Ginkgo. Senility, when you start to get senile, we getting old and we getting senile. Oh, I can't remember nothing about what happened last month. This herb here, but it don't work alone, it work together with other plants. It helps with loss of hearing. If you can mix it with echinacea, red root, and cleavers, yeah. But it also deals with mental fatigue, and it also slows the progression of Alzheimer's, and it increases memory if you are suffering from dementia. Over here, next one. Show the boss and all of them. This herb is called Hawthorn leaf and flower. And the reason why I put Hawthorn leaf and flower in my brain formula, this one right over here, the way I put it there, is because Hawthorn is very significant for the heart. And because the heart deals with the mind, the shen we call it, it's very important to use herbs that help the heart to help the mind or the shen. So Hawthorn leaf and flower, hear what it does. And that's the reason why I put it in my my brain formula. Hawthorn leaf and flower deals with heart weakness. It deals with angina, when you're having chest pain in your chest, when you have your arteries are blocked up. It deals with mitral valve prolapse if you can mix it with magnesium. So if you're taking Hawthorn leaf and flower with magnesium, you're going to fix your mitral valve prolapse. Because when you have mitral valve prolapse, because you're lacking in magnesium in the heart muscle, and then you're lacking in all these compounds that cause your valve to prolapse. But Hawthorn leaf and flower and the berries and the fruit itself, now look at the fruit right here, they strengthen your heart muscle, and they give your heart a stronger contraction, and they prevent, and they stop the angina pain when you have blockages, and it also fix or repair your mitral valve prolapse and congestive heart failure, and it inhibits plaque from forming on the walls of your arteries, and it also drop your cholesterol, because we know for a fact that lots of people, older people who have Alzheimer's, had plaque in the walls of the arteries, and the artery build up with plaque, caused them to get high cholesterol, and then it affected the brain where you deal with cognition and memory, which is the hippocampus of the brain. Take that plaque. And Hawthorn also deals with ADHD. And it also deals with connective tissue problems. When you have trouble in the connective tissues, it moves the blood. And it also deals with varicose veins. So once you have varicose veins, you better get some Hawthorn leaf and flower. You better get some ginkgo. You better get some gota cola. You better get some colinzonia. You better get some horse chestnut. You better get some lycium fruit. you better get some prickly ash, which is also in my brain formula. And when you get them, you're going to fix your varicose veins. So Horton leaf and flower is the boss for the heart. If your heart is beating slow, it brings up the heartbeat. Heart is beating too fast, brings down the heartbeat. Your pressure too high, it drops the pressure. Your pressure too low, it brings it back up. It acts as what we call an amphoteric in herbal medicine. Forget. Rosemary. The boss of bosses, all of them. Rosemary have antioxidant. Rosemary have vitamin A. Rosemary have vitamin E. Rosemary have vitamin D. Full of vitamin. That's what we call rosemary an antioxidant. And what rosemary do, it increases circulation to the brain, and it improves memory, and it also gets rid of brain fog, especially for people who is in classes and is studying. It gets rid of brain fog. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at the main herb. So the main herb is going to be bacopa, and the main herb is going to be Coca-Cola, and the main herb is going to be ginkgo. So we're going to put the main herb in here. Yeah, going to mix them together. So bacopa and Coca-Cola is the main herb. We're going to throw it inside the bag. Yeah, wonderful. And we're going to put another main herb, which is ginkgo, because ginkgo deals with mental clarity and mental fatigue. So we're going to put that as the main herb, and it's also slow down the progression of Alzheimer's. Yeah, put that there. And then we're going to go now to the supporting herbs that support the brain, and support the ginkgo, and support the bacopa, and support the Coca-Cola. Scachangia berry, because we know that it works on the adrenals and the nerves. So we're going to make them the supporting herb. So scachangia berry is a supporting herb, and also lemon balm is also the supporting herb, because they do not work directly on the brain, but they work between the endocrine glands and the nervous system. So we don't want them have them as the main herb. That's why you have to know how to use the herbs together. That's important. You're going to put them in here now too. And we're going to go to Horton, leaf and flower. We're going to go to prickly ash. We're going to go to rosemary. You can make rosemary the main herb too. But I'm going to make Horton, leaf and flower the assisting herb. And I'm going to make Horton fruit the assisting herb. And I'm going to make prickly ash the assisting herb, because they deal with circulation, but they move the blood to the brain. And they work on the heart. So we're making this mixture now for the brain and for the heart to pump the blood properly, because without the heart, the brain don't function properly. You see what I'm saying? You have to have blood go to the carotid artery left and right. Right? Wonderful. We put that here. So we have Horton and prickly ash as what we call the assistant herb. So the assistant, what the supporting herb is doing, and what the main herb is doing also. Over here, son. So right here, you have a mixture for your brain, mental clarity, focus, SATs, memory, foggy brain. Now, slowing up Alzheimer's disease. That's a blend. Mark them down before they remove the video. These are the herbs. You can put in Horton berries. You can put in other plants that deal with circulation. But I like to use these herbs because when I'm working on the brain, I work on the heart. And when I'm working on the brain, I work on the digestive system. You see, you cannot work on the brain and in work on your digestive system. It ain't going to happen. You won't get results. Or your results are going to be temporary. Because without the digestive system, the brain don't function. You see what I'm saying? It's important to know these things, you know. So if you want to fix dementia, you want to fix Alzheimer's, you want to fix all these neurological troubles in the brain, you must go to your digestive system first and fix there. Especially if you're past the age of 50 and you're not absorbing nutrients because you have low acid in the stomach. You won't absorb anything. So then the brain will suffer, because your brain depends on down here for sustenance. And if there's no absorption, if there's no assimilation, the brain won't get what it needs. You see? And you have to prevent eating dead foods. You have to eat food that have nutrients and avoid all the food that have the chemicals. Change your pots in your house. Go to the cast iron pot. or your stainless steel pot. Don't use aluminum foil. Get away from the toothpaste that have aluminum and fluoride, because fluoride also increase isolated aluminum. Fluoride in your toothpaste and in your water, it increases isolated aluminum. So when you're drinking the water with all the fluoride and aluminum from all the pipes and stuff, it increases the aluminum in your system, and because you don't have good brain barrier function, you lose the battle against Alzheimer's. Stay right there, sir. So before we leave, I'm going to read a quote from a doctor, a researcher. Hear what he said, and he's a doctor now. He said, unfortunately, instead of looking for ways to make it stronger, mean the blood-brain barrier he's talking about. Blood-brain barrier. He said, unfortunately, or she said, sorry, the woman. Unfortunately, instead of looking for ways to make it stronger, meaning the blood-brain barrier, conventional medicine goal is to find drugs that will break the barrier down so drugs can be introduced into the brain by passing the bloodstream. Read it again one more time before we leave. The doctor said, unfortunately, instead of these other doctors, neurologists, looking for ways to make it stronger, the blood-brain barrier that is, conventional medicine's goal is to find drugs that will break the barrier down so drugs can be introduced into the brain by passing the bloodstream, by passing your bloodstream. Dig that. She goes on to say, this is not the healthy nor best way to solve the problem of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's. She goes on to say again, every time we alter our God-given bodies, whether through legal or illegal chemicals, we jeopardize our health. It is always better to work with nature instead of fighting against nature. This is the one that got me. She said, doctor said that. It is better to work with nature. It is better to work with nature instead of fighting against nature. Because if you don't work with nature and you fight against nature, nature will win the battle. And that is the reason why the whole world is messed up, because man is not living in harmony with nature. He wants to conquer nature. You cannot conquer nature. You have to live in harmony with nature. And when you live in harmony with nature, nature will take care of you. But they want to conquer nature. And that's the reason why they come and tell you now there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. You follow me? So, I am creating a program, the blood-brain barrier, for Alzheimer's patients and anybody who have foggy brain or dementia. I'm creating a program. It will be ready in maybe April, because it's a lot of work. I have to think a lot. I have to know what to put together. And then that program is going to be for 45 to 50 days. And then I'm going to show you how to heal or to reverse these conditions. If your mother have it, if your father have it, if you have dementia, if you have Alzheimer's, if you know somebody who have it, I'm going to show you when I put that program together for you. And I make you go on that program for 45 to 50 days. And I will show you how you can detoxify all the heavy metals in your brain and make them come through the system and piss them out in the urine by just using your foods as your medicine. I'm going to teach you that. So if God give us health and strength to see another day in April, we're going to put that together. You know what I mean? And when I put it together, we're going to detoxify. And we're going to build up the cells in the brain. We're going to build up the nerves. We're going to have the neurotransmitters in the brain to function well. And then you're going to see your mama and your dada ain't going to jump on a bus, ain't know where they're going. You're going to see your mama and your dada start coming back. and remove all the mercury in the mouth and aluminum in the mouth. All of them, take them out. Leave aluminum foil. Leave aluminum pots. Leave them out. And then you're going to see mommy and daddy, if they have Alzheimer's, with my program that God helped me to create, you're going to see that the herbs are going to be for the healing of the nation. In April, when I'm in Grenada, I have more time. So I'm in Grenada next month, and we are preparing for a retreat in Grenada sometime in May or June, so that people could come in, because now from the 4th of April, you do not have to be vaccinated to go to Grenada. After the 4th of April, you do not have to take a PCR test to go to Grenada, and that's why I'm going after the 4th. See? So if you don't have to take a test to come to Grenada, and you don't have to be vaccinated, we now are going to be creating a program, because we talked to the brother yesterday with the resort right on the beach, and now we are putting that together for people who want to come to Grenada sometime in May or April and get some nice sunshine and go to the beach and relax and learn how to cook. We're going to have Dr. Sebastian Peters. We're going to have Dr. Daigo Humphrey, cardiologist. Dr. Sebastian Peters, who is an angiocologist. We're going to have Dr. De Freitas from Denmark coming in. We're going to have to try to get Dr. Austin. We're going to have to get Dr. Joe Kerber coming in. And we're going to do seminars and teach how to cook, how to use the foods in Grenada. And I'll be hoping to go to Jamaica in September. But the first one is in Grenada, so I'm going back to try to prepare for that. And if you want to come to Grenada, you're going to talk to Rafika Soros, and we're going to put everything together. And you could come to Grenada and have a good time. We're going to treat you real good. We're going to see you. We're going to show you how we live in Grenada. We can live to get healthy instead of getting cancer. Yeah? Best and love to everybody. Don't forget the number is 888-496-4770. Ask for Angel on Hand and Patrick Dells, holistichealing.com. And I want to thank everybody for the support. See everything? See everything there? Shipping out. We're shipping out everything. Don't forget everybody who, although we kind of late because our labels are all messed up, we're shipping everything out for you all. Like tomorrow, shipping, see how we're shipping. So don't get impatient. You all will get everything, and we're going to make sure everybody's all right, okay? Blessed love. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. And I want you all to give God all the glory. I want you to give God all the glory. Because with all Jehovah God, Yahweh, man can do nothing. And that's the reason why the Christ, when he was on the earth, he looked up to the Father and asked him to help him to heal people. Because he knew for a fact he could not do it by himself. See? So at the end of the day, the Most High God, he is the ultimate healer of all things. So I ask him for wisdom, I ask him for knowledge, and I ask him for understanding. So when I have wisdom and knowledge, I can put things in place and help people to get better. Yeah? So I look at the Most High God for my guidance. I don't look to man for nothing. I look for God for my guidance. And when he teaches me, I pass it on to you all. Blessed love. All right, we're going to take a few questions, yeah? I'll be in Jamaica in this September. Trinidad, once all you take out the vaccine in Trinidad, I come in Trinidad. Because we have Keenan Monroe in Trinidad right now, 388-7979. And once the vaccine is lifted and the PCR test is lifted, I'll be in Trinidad. So it might be sooner than you all think. Okay? Wonderful. Yes, my brother Maxwell. God bless you. Naomi Angel, yeah. Cancer cells cannot live in a... That's not true. That's garbage talk already. Naomi, come again with that crap. That's not true. Cancer cells cannot live in an alkaline system. That's not true. That's false information. Because I know lots of people who have cancer and they're alkaline and they died from cancer. So that's not true. That's false information. Don't teach that. Okay? That's false information. Don't teach that at all. You know, because a lot of people going to laugh at people like us who come and say, oh, cancer cannot live in an alkaline terrain. That's not true. Because I know lots of people who was on an alkaline diet, pH is all 7.5, 8.0, and still die from cancer. So that's not true at all. Don't spread that message. That's false information, okay? Wonderful. Well, where do you know to start, Barbara? We always start with a cleansing of the digestive system and a detoxification of the cells. And I like to go to the liver for phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. And that's the best way to start. The best way to start is to start from the digestive system and up, not from up and down. We must start from down to up, because without down here, up here don't work properly, okay? Wonderful. When I get to Grenada next month, we are going to I'm going to have all the information there. We're going to talk to the Ministry of Tourism, and we're going to have them. We're going to have it organized with all my brothers and my sisters over here. And I said before, I want all black people to work together. So I'm working with lots of our brothers and our sisters. No matter where we come from. Once we come from Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, we are all brothers and sisters. We only have different dialect. Only different dialect, but we're same people. So we're going to work with all those people from different countries in the Caribbean. So if later on, if you want to have one in St. Lucia, we could talk to the people over there. If we have one, if you want to have one in Antigua, I have a good relationship with Gaston Brown, we can have one over there in Jolly Beach. If we want to have one in Trinidad and Tobago, we can talk to Keenan Mono, we could have one over there, because we all brothers and sisters. Okay, all right. I want to make it a black thing where black people could work together instead of coming and fighting on one another and dealing with jealousy and envy. I don't deal with that. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, I'll be in Grenada sometime next week, if God give me health and strength. And I'm going to go to plan that retreat. So we're hoping that we're going to start back having patients coming in to Grenada if they have sicknesses, because we have the sanctuary there still that we can accommodate people. So we're going to work on that when we get back to Grenada. Yeah, wonderful. If you have cataracts in the eyes, it's according to how big the cataracts are. You can use inside compound by clear eyes, or you can use what we call macular formula or retina formula, and you can use some cucumbers on the eyes. 2 slices of cucumber on the eyes in the nighttime. That will help with the cataracts also, okay? Yes, all right. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate everybody too. And I'm not I say racist. I love all people. Don't forget that. But I have a special love for black people. We the only way we are the one that been through all the stuff that they seem to kill us faster. They seem to program us in a certain way for us not to live together. And I'm saying I want to be like Marcus Garvey. I want to be like Malcolm X. I want to be like Patrice Lumumba. I want to be like Steve Biko. You know what I mean? I want to be like those brothers who came and teach us to try to live together. You know what I mean? That's why I don't deal with politics. Because these politicians they have no love for us. You know what I'm saying? So I want to have that I want to see that in our people. I hope that before I die I could see it happen. But a lot of us is not taking heed because we are still suffering from the Willie Lynch syndrome. Okay? Yeah? Kind of what's good for hypothyroid? When you have a hypothyroid, don't use CMOS. All right, CMOS is only good for when you have an underactive thyroid. When you have an overactive hyper, you got to use the B complex. You got to use calcium. You got to use cauliflower because they act as thyroxine inhibitors. You have to use lemon balm. You have to use bogleweed to prevent palpitation of the heart. And you have to use another herb called mother's wort or some horton, and that will help with your hyperthyroid. Okay. So the needs is according to where it's coming from. If it's not coming from the kidney, we can go to the cell membranes. And because we know for a fact that if you have what we call irritation, you're going to have what we call inflammation. So if the swelling is not coming from the kidney, we go to the cell membranes and we feed the cell membranes EFAs. Once the cell membranes are fed these omegas, it starts to produce a good prostaglandin that will cause the swelling to go away. Okay? How do we clean the liver? There are different ways of cleaning the liver. We can do a liver cleanse by doing castor oil, gallbladder flush with castor oil and grapefruit juice and orange juice and olive oil. We can use it that way, or we can do some herbs. If you want to drench the liver, we can use some dandelion root, some milk thistle, some blessed thistle, Oregon grapefruit, boldo, and we can drench the liver that way. So according to what's happening to the liver. All right, if the enzymes are high, it's a whole different thing. Yeah. Oh, edema where? Where is the edema? If you have edema in the legs, it comes from the kidney. We have to fix your kidney. We have to go to the heart and the kidney. If you have congestive heart failure, CHF, we must go to the heart because remember we said before that the heart and the kidney work together, right? Let me just get the lights that are a little shiny over there. Right. All right. I'm gonna do the light too much. Yeah. All right. Now, if you want to fix the kidney, right, or the heart, if you have CHF, congestive heart failure, you're gonna have trouble in the kidney. You're gonna swell because the heart is congested. It can't move blood out. It can't move the blood properly. It can't move the water out. So you get what we call cardiac edema. So what we do is we remove we're going to strengthen the heart muscle and cause the heart to pump the blood to the vessel walls. Once the heart starts doing that now, we're going to be tonify the kidney, and then the kidney will push the excessive amount of water out, releasing the water and causing your edema to go away. Allergies is an immune problem. Yeah? When you have allergies, we have to go to the immune system and balance it back. What is good for neuropathy? When you have neuropathy, we go to the nervines, because there's nerve damage. And if you have diabetes, causes that too. So we go to the nervines and we go to like skull cap, lady slipper. We go to chamomile. We go to horton. And we go to herbs that deal with circulation and the B complex. And once you have neuropathy, you use these herbs, these supplements, you fix your nervine, you fix your neuropathy. All right? The prostate, what happened with the prostate gland? If the prostate gland is enlarged, we can shrink the prostate gland by using nettle root, white sage, saw palmetto, hydrangea, butchu leaves, and another herb called guava root. If there is swelling of the prostate, if there is prostate cancer, we have to look and see how high the PSA is. And then if the PSA is over 5 or 10, we try to bring the PSA back down by putting you on what you call a 60-day cancer program to take the prostate gland, fix the prostate gland. My girlfriend wants to know what PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And lots of women seem to have that, especially black women. That's coming from the pituitary gland in your brain. Yeah? So when you have, go this way. When you have PCOS, it's because your pituitary gland in your brain is not working properly and it is not receiving a signal from the hypothalamus gland in the brain. Because everything is about signals, yeah? Once the pituitary gland do not receive that signal from the hypothalamus gland, your pituitary gland as a woman start neglecting your LH and your FSH, which is your luteinizing hormone and your follicle stimulating hormone, and then all of a sudden you cannot normalize your progesterone and your estrogen, so then your ovaries start producing androgen men hormones. So the doctors give you what we call metformin for insulin resistance. We don't do that. We go to the pituitary and we repair the pituitary. And we normalize the endocrine system, yeah? Once we normalize that, we help the ovaries now to function better by causing the pituitary to normalize the woman's LH and FSH, and in turn, that normalizes her estrogen and progesterone, and then the ovaries now start producing your progesterone, and you fix your PCOS, okay? We have a program for that also. It's called For Women Only. So if you go to the website, patrickdellsHolisticHealing.com, you're going to see I have a program there for women only. You do that program, you're going to fix PCOS, yeah? Yeah, that's where it's come from. Colitis. Colitis is inflammation of the intestines. All itis is inflammation. So if you irritate your intestine, you're going to get colitis. So once you have irritation of the large bowel, you're going to get colitis because the large bowel is being irritated. Once irritation is there, you're going to get inflammation. Once you can repair the irritation and remove the inflammation, then you're going to repair colitis. So we have a product called intestinal formula that goes in and helps to repair your colitis, your Crohn's disease, your IBS, and your mucous colitis, okay? Hair loss is according to what's causing the hair loss. You could have hair loss from the thyroid gland. You could have it from a virus. You could have it from heavy metal poisoning. So that could cause the hair loss. You have to increase circulation to the follicles. So there's a product called Total Hair that's good, but you have to look at horsetail or called shave grass and comfrey and alfalfa, and those are the herbs you have to use when you have hair loss too, with biotin, okay? Yeah? As I said before, glaucoma is just pressure in the eyes, yeah? So once you have glaucoma, we give you a product called Clear Eyes, and then we put you on a program for eye health. And then when we put you on a program, we work on your liver, because your liver have a lot to do with your eyes, yeah? So once we work on the liver, we work on the eyes at the same time. Automatically, about a month or so, your pressure start going down to 15 or 14, because that's where it's supposed to be, and then you fix your glaucoma, because all of them could be repaired. Also, you can repair what you call diabetic neuropathy or detached retinal. They can be repaired too. Yeah? Wonderful. All right. Good night, everybody. HSV. How to use the herbs? Well, all the herbs mixed together. You're going to take 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of hot water. You're going to cover it for 5 minutes, and you're going to strain it and drink 3 cups per day and stay away from fried foods. Okay. All right. Somebody talk about. Let me see here. Acid flux. Diverticulitis is the same treatment for like colitis. Acid flux is according to how old you are. If you are 50 or less, you have hyperchlorhydria. If you are over 50, it's hypo. They need different treatment. For hyper, you have to drop the acid. For hypo, you got to bring it back up. So hyper, you're going to use betaine. For hypo, you're going to use betaine hydrochloride with some agrimony, with some dandelion root, with some chamomile and some gentian. If you hyper, you're going to use orange peel. You're going to use meadow sweet. You're going to use angelica, marshmallow, and fennel seed, and chamomile. If you hyper, and we have programmed on that already, so you're going to have to go look at the video for that, okay? And you fix your acid reflux. And when you're going to fix your acid reflux, you don't eat starches and protein at the same time, because eating starches and protein at the same time will cause more acid to form in your stomach and cause you to have more acid reflux, okay? Wonderful. Well, we did a program, we did a video on Parkinson last week, so you could go back and look at the video. It's all there, still on my page. Facebook can take it out yet. Yes, purple is good for the brain also. Yes, definitely. Wonderful. Give thanks. The website is patrickdellsholistichealing.com. Yeah. And you might take a little while because you're looking to get the labels, and we're working with a brother now, a printing company, and it's kind of tough because, you know, black people, I like to work with black people. I like to leave my money in black people's hands. You know, no matter what nobody say, I give my money to black people. I buy black. I believe in buying black. So I go and I support black brothers. A young brother from Jamaica who have a printing company. It might take a little while to get my labels, but I'm patient, and I want you all to be patient with me also, because it's our people, okay? We have to keep the money among ourselves. We're not supposed to let the money come out of our community. Keep it circling. So I want to keep it circling, so I put it in the black brothers' hands. Put it back in my hands. I put it in your hands, put it back in my hands, and it circulate. And we build from that. You gotta hold this, that's what the so-called Jews do. That's what the Italian does. You know, in Bay Ridge and all these neighborhoods that they have. That's what they do. Their money don't leave the neighborhood easy. But ours leave because everybody come into ours and take it out and go out with it. And their community become richer and ours become poorer. So I'm trying to change that. So I believe in buying black. So I buy black. Black, 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 black. I don't buy from other people. I buy black. Wonderful. Give thanks always. Yeah? Have a nice night, everybody. And give God the glory.